Welcome everybody and welcome to All In All United. Your boys Reem and Nico here. Nico, what we saying, boy?
Hey,
Uh,
good night, good night.
Today, I don't know. I think I see plenty Manchester derbies. I think I see enough to know or to say that this had to be the most boring Manchester derby I ever see. You understand? It's like I think I was telling you before. It's like the two managers went in not to lose. That's the kind of impression I get because the game was real safe. Everybody was playing, they were trying to get the basics correct. And for me, I was actually surprised at the kind of respect Pep gave us with how he set up his team. That they didn't go gung ho on we. They were very very guarded with everything that they were doing. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had games in the past where City dominated me, and Nico, I was wondering what we be doing in training. You understand? But I was surprised that the game was actually an even game in terms of the possession football. In terms of actual chance and carving open teams, it wasn't that kind of game today. It was that kind of game at chess now. I find it was, for the neutral, it could be a boring watch. You know? Wait,
Yeah, yeah. It's as you say, I was surprised in terms of how conservative Pep went today. I think even the lineup with two defensive midfielders. I think he kind of wary of the pace we have on the counter. I think that would have hurt him a lot last season. I think last season we would have won 3 out of 4 games against Man City. With exploiting the space that was presented to us with the high press football they play. I think Pep was wary of that, and he countered that. He said earlier, "What I feel to be exposed today. I know United hurting for many week. A lot of the guys would have want to prove a point. So here, what? Let me play it safe today, because them fellas looking for a reaction, and next thing they about 5, you know." But it wasn't the norm from Pep. Pep is a man. There's play one way all the time. Even as Callum was saying, the last review, top coaches just play one way all the time. But Pep actually changed his style and his brand of football to counter us today, and we saw that. And I think that be kudos to what Oli has been doing. And maybe introducing the fear factor back to United a bit, at least in the league, because you would have seen what would have happened with West Ham, you would have seen what would have happened with Southampton, when teams would have relaxed and given us that space now. So Pep, I think, was he set up to prevent that space, and I think the game was a more fest, but a fair result for both teams at the end of the day.
But you think, Nico, that Pep would have leave the happier the two managers, because even when Chelsea and Lampard came to Old Trafford, you could have seen the same approach that Pep Guardiola took is what Lampard took. He came, he played safe, he played, I think it was a back three. I can't remember how Lampard had set up his team, and we knew based on history, Chelsea would have come and dominate the football. But as you were talking about, our pace and our transitions frightening when a team dominating us in terms of possession. So you saw now Pep coming into this game thinking, well, hey, here what's going on. I'm not going to try to beat this team at home because the saying is based on how we are taught with this football team, this football thing. You don't lose your away games and you win your home games.
I think the Champions League.
No. But you're seeing it now because Pep Guardiola wasn't going to Pep Guardiola not playing so no draw nowhere, but you saw it today. It was clear as day that Pep Guardiola did not come to try to really, when I say dominate and beat you off the park. Pep was, as you say, Pep was very, very conservative. So I'm asking myself now, what do you think? You think Pep would have left the more happier manager?
Hard to tell, why. No, just knowing the history of Pep, playing attacking football, wanted to score goals, not scoring a goal. I don't know. I think he wouldn't be happy because I think inside he will be feeling that, as I said before, he changed his style of football to negate Manchester United, and I think that is not him. I think he would have looked at other teams setting up to negate the threat that he bring, and then the other way around. So I think he would not be pleased, at leaving Old Trafford with that point today. Maybe if the game was, let me say, United was up 2-0, and City would have came back and draw 2-2, and show that fighting spirit with his style of football, then I think he'd have been more pleased than to come to Old Trafford and draw and
I hear it, but I still, because all with what you're saying would have meant that Pep came not to lose first and foremost. So if he didn't lose, that mean, well, part of my game plan would have been successful. Because when you look at how he's set up, as you say, with a certain level of respect for what's Ollie doing and the team that Ollie trying to build. From past, from past
Right, but I say that, but he does set up for the result, but deep down inside now, I don't think he'd be pleased. But he set up for that result and he got the result, which overall he'd be grateful for the result. But when he really check it, I think personally, he will not feel good about it now.
But I think
the point, I'm glad for the point, but overall I feel that maybe he might have some reservation to what, maybe I should have gone more attacking, with one defensive mid, and play, maybe Bernardo Silva or Foden, No,
but I really think the football, one, we understand that the football evolving, and we saw even when Man City played Tottenham, he went with his normal philosophy, and you see what happened, right? So that being said, you're seeing where managers realizing now that this hard and fast style, we're not saying deviate from your philosophy, but based on certain opponents, you could tweak it here and there just to get a result. Because when Pep took over, Pep would have had this some of the best players at his disposal. But now you've seen Pep have a kind of aging team where he had to now consider other factors. Well, here what's going on. Going into this game against United on them home ground, probably I had a, let me play a little more safe. Let me play it a little safer. Because my players don't have the legs, some of the players not, they may have just passed the prime, So until I could build back a squad where I know could dominate the league, as would have happened before, I might have to now consider how I approach each and every game, So this is what I figure going on in Pep's mind right now, because look at the kind of teams beating Pep of recent years when Pep would have been bulldozing teams without even batting an eyelid, Let me just get Iron on the inside here. Good night, buddy. Thanks for joining. He said Pep was his main striker. It could have been a different game with Aguero, but had a very disciplined performance. He's also saying this game could have been different if Pep had Aguero and we had Cavani and had a very professional performance. I think what resounded for me is the fact that the two teams were very, very professional in how they approach the game. As I would have mentioned before, Ian, I don't know if you was on the inside by then. Everybody tried to get the basics right. The simple things were done. Very rare you saw risks being taken. I think we saw more risks a bit later down in the game. But when the game started off, because even with United, Nico, we always start off shaky now.
Yeah, I was expecting a shaky start, but I find we started off, I guess, because even City wasn't pressing us as much as I thought too now. So I think, we started off shaky and, we had a confidence issue starting games, and I was expecting City to come at us, from get-go, but didn't see that.
Yeah. Simeon, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying whenever a team doesn't score against our defense, they should be disappointed. Even if City played conservative, they still would have expected to score with Maguire back there. But I guess them fellas defend when they want to. No, it's true. But I think, Nicole, you had made a real good point. Anytime, I can't remember how you put it. Anytime we have to sit back and not force the press, you just find Maguire, there's thrive. People like Bissaka, there's thrive.
That a game. That is Maguire bread and butter. You see that type of game? That is his bread and butter. You see, the moment he had a defend with space behind him, that is when he could be found wanted. But the moment he sit back and being able to dominate, especially in the air, that is when you see the best of Maguire. And today was our example of that.
Yeah, not only Maguire, even Bissaka.
Yeah, Bissaka too. Yeah, because he didn't really have to go forward. I can't see. I can't remember Bissaka passing the halfway line at any time.
Yeah, it had one time that was very, very notable.
Yeah. When he cross that, I know which I find. Yeah, but outside of that, them fellas in the elements, and they defended well.
Yeah.
And that also, remember back to that point, that maybe what if he doesn't time his jumps a bit better on Bissaka, maybe he might make a good centre back.
Oh God, Nicole, we don't go in a centre back.
No, because even the West Ham game, the pace he showed, the recovery pace that he showed is what we lacking. And that challenge. So let me say, if he's a player, let me say alongside Maguire in the back, I feel he could do something and we get a proper right back. Let me say if Trippier come, let me see if we get Trippier, right? He might shine in at centre back. It's a little time he jump, but the man could defend. I think that's what we wanted him back.
I ain't not seen Bissaka as a centre back at all.
Yeah. And you want like with him too, I find he doesn't, like when the little intricate plays around him, he don't lose the ball much. He does take his time, he don't panic, he does still try to find a player now. Then like actually long time I stab a man, he get it out wherever. You right? But I can still try to find little passes and things. So I feel he can work as a centre back.
Nah, I ain't seeing that. I don't want to see that at all.
Yeah, but you rather see what's a right back?
I rather see what's our next club. The kind of football we want to play, because we talked that already. The kind of football we want to play.
I feel that man could defend, boy. That man could defend.
We cannot go into every game. You understand what I'm saying? Playing like this. This is not how we want to play. And this is where, as you say, and I fully agree with you, this is how the soccer does look good. But anytime our team sit back and allow us possession and we're trying to carve out something and create opportunities, we have nothing coming from the wide right side because the soccer offers nothing.
But what I feel is natural elements is that centre back because what against Leipzig? Where he going to defend? He going to defend as a centre back? He didn't defend as a right back? Like any man, natural elements, put him there. That way you want to, every time the ball coming across, you want to defend in the middle, stay in the middle and defend. You'll get right back to play right back.
My thing with playing, remember, one-on-one with Bissaka's strength is timing and his ability to skate, tackle, to go on the ground and win.
Right.
You don't want him to be taking those kind of risks in the box. If you put Wan-Bissaka to play as a centre back, then you're taking away from him his how it is played in FIFA, his traits. You taking away that trait.
No, you're taking that.
Being able to use his trait, you taking that away from him. If you see when you play him in the right back position, he out of the box, so he could still try, even though we know his timing impeccable with his skate tackling. He will always be thinking 2 and 3 times now that he in the box to do that.
No, what I'm saying is, if we play that high football where we defend with space behind us, right, where the centre backs high up the field, then he wouldn't be defending in the box as much. So he had that space where he could use his recovery pace and challenging ability to win back the ball. You know,
I don't know. I say here on corners, when Wan-Bissaka go and stand up on the half line. So anybody try to break, you go back and then you do your skate tackle thing close to the box. But nah. I am saying Bissaka cross like he had on a Timberland. It's true. but he agreed with your touches.
I'm telling you, my touches.
You also saying that centre back thing is madness. Yeah.
All year, what's man? I feel the man to do something. Anyway, alright, I hear you.
Auxiliary, in the one-off thing, but don't tell me that when them walking out from the tunnel, it's he and Maguire, right? Madness.
I like to start for a League Cup game. Let me start for a League Cup game, right? And let me judge it. Right? He and Maguire in a League Cup game, yep. 2 starts.
But you see, that is the deceiving thing because chances are a League Cup game will be against Contour or Millwall. You understand? Yeah, and then we get the glad and ball, way.
And then two, we need to get a left-footed centre back. So, better we really because as you see how much time today, Man City players just forcing Maguire in left foot and you're kicking it out.
Yeah.
Kicking it out. So, better really try to get Maguire's, even you said before, Maguire does play on the left side for England, but to me, there's a flaw. After that flaw in the game, because if I that coach, I tell them my players force it to play on the left foot, you give it back. So play on the right side, and let me get a left-sided centre back. And Ruben Dias is left-sided. He's a left footer.
Yeah.
Yeah, really ideal, but anyway.
But here is and I mean, there's a discussion as we go and have now.
Yeah.
Shaw versus Tellez. Talk to me.
Defensively, Shaw all year. Right? I had a battle with that. Attacking wise, I get play Tellez attacking wise. If you play in Chaddy back, I comfortable with Tellez with, let me say, Shaw play on the left side of the centre back. So let me say we have Maguire, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw as the 3 centre backs. I can see Tellez as a left wing back.
Right, but that's now we go to formation.
They go to formation for now. Especially, I think Tellez will be still coming to terms with the Premier League. Or he just say convincing in defending, but going forward and it's about the cross and corners and stuff. Yeah, Tellez all the way. But defending wise, I'm taking Shaw everything.
So then we're striking that balance where we can going forward. Shaw shocking boy. And I like what getting from Tellez, in the attacking third. But I don't like what getting from Tellez defensively because we see how much time he get caught napping.
Why you just sleep like that, boy?
Yeah, like he on them sleeping pills in the defense house. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, real serious. So quick Shaw come back. Only take you off one time?
Yeah, because Shaw, only realize Shaw a little more strong and a little more solid defensively. But we losing out going forward. And that's part of the little conundrum we in with 2 of them. So that's why Nico from the start, even when we were linked with Tellez, we was questioning our signing because we knew he was good in one regard, but in the other regard he was, he wasn't really tested now. Them Brazilians and them again.
Yeah.
Kenton, welcome, man. He's saying Van de Beek and Ollie daughter follows us.
We're going to play Van de Beek, boy. Honestly, especially like today. We're not playing. Unless he didn't play McTominay or didn't play Fred. Because we can't see no way in that 10. He's not producing anything in the number 10. One touch number 10 can't work.
Yeah, but Nico, you remember when we saw Pogba starting to tire, right? I felt at that point in time, and that was around the 78th minute. Pogba was looking real fatigue, and we talked that what Pogba is doing, he's tired. He just gave a penalty.
Well, I was hoping he didn't challenge nobody in the area, no? Jeez.
So I thought that point would have been a good point to introduce Van de Beek for Pogba. Because I mean, McTominay and Fred giving you the defensive cover, and we know we have, Beek who could play across that midfield.
Because we saw Bruno on the field. So
exactly.
I can see him coming onto the field in that role. I think
Yeah. Mitchell James, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying every time Solskjaer under pressure, he pulls out his bus. That game was boring. It's true. It's true. I don't know if to say it's a boss, but he does inspire them. Them fellas just get inspired different, boy. And there's really want to play them, boy.
And the problem, boy, is the consistency we want. The consistency we can't see a performance like Leipzig, and then we come and say a performance like that today. Where's the consistency at least? At least I would say, even if we lost today, I say, well, all right, you know, we can find the performance was a decent performance. I could say, you know, you're seeing what the team doing now. But when you see the game against Leipzig, it's like, Jed, what these men, as you leaders always say, what did they do in training? So you didn't know this man as well, you didn't know that man as that? You know, and you're like confused now. So even a performance, let's give you some consistency in performances, you know, and I think that would the fans want.
Yeah, yeah. And I think the occasion should dictate, you know, how motivated he is for a game now. Every game exactly. you should want to show up. You
exactly.
know, not only for the Manchester derby or when you're playing Liverpool, we want to also show up the same way when you're playing Sheffield United. I think the plan was to play a back three with Shaw centre back and Telles as a left wing back. Yeah. But I mean, when you consider only go-to formation, it's not really a 3-5-2. You know, so I think the games that we're going to sit back is when you're going to see the Shaw Telles thing. But I think right now, when you look at the four at the back, we had to figure out who and play that, you know, because we were talking before, one giving you a good defensive performance and the next one giving you a good attacking performance, but they're not giving we, you know, the flip side. So, Kenton saying McMahon could bench for my partner because Van der Beek way better. Well, Nico seemed to be a fan of McTominay, McSauce, McMahon.
Well, I tell you, it has some players. I know we use off I'm not for this, but it has some players that there's good at all, buddy. You know, there is leave the heart, there is leave everything on that field. And McTominay does do that. And sometimes that is the kind of man you just want on your team to inspire the others now. Because when you see the graph and the effort and the attitude, you know, other people might see it and want to give that to now. And McTominay had that. You know, so Jed, ease up McTominay.
Here, I'm telling you, I will go on the field if I get to put on a Man United jersey, Nico, and play alongside them fellas on them. I tell you, I will give you blood. I'm not good. I'm not good for that level. You understand?
I know.
You see all that heart and soul nonsense? Them days done, boy. I work quality, boy.
And you what tell you, our next man will get your heart and soul and they break some challenges. Henderson. Like how the hair does be breaks in and all kind of thing and afraid to put your hand and afraid to go to challenges. Henderson not doing that. All way they are afraid to go, Henderson going. Right? Because of the well, I mean, we know they are there for a while, about 10 years now, right? Or close to 10 years. But for me, I find he not going places that Henderson would go. Because I think Henderson would have more to prove. Henderson is a man now. You know?
Here my thing, right? Now, Henderson highly rated. For me, Henderson not proven yet. Playing for Sheffield United week in, week out, and playing for Manchester United week in, week out, it's two different kind of pressures. It's two different kind of demands, right? Now, you know, the whole idea of Dean Henderson, you know, Mank born and bred, he wants to be Manchester United number one, real potential, all well and good enough. You know what I'm saying? But you haven't yet carried the load and the weight that they had carried, as you say, for 10 years for me to wax lyrical about you yet. You play a half a game, you look all right, you know. Let we allow Dean Henderson, you understand? Let we stop, you know, bigging up this fella who has proved himself yet. You understand what I'm saying? And there's the same thing we used to do with Romero, right? Romero is a man people used to be ranting about Romero. Oh, when he play, he just conceded the least amount of goals, blah, 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 blah. But the proof in the pudding earlier, I see Romero do some kind of thing all day. And if Romero is number one, we might get relegated, dog. So
No, but
all I'm saying is
yeah.
Dean Henderson has yet proved his worth at the highest level, right? So I not gonna ball, oh, drop the hair, Dean Henderson is the savior, he go give me this and he go give me that. I not gonna answer that until I see it for myself.
All right, I just find that for some reason they are making some errors, some basic errors that I feel the Henderson might make. But as again they are the benefit of the doubt. But as you was even said before, even for Spain international Spain national team, he's not the number one. So that's something that somebody else and some no-name keeper agree about is the number one keeper for Spain right now. You know, but until you know, I mean, maybe Henderson prove himself a bit more. You know, got a bit more experience on his well playing for United. You know, for me, they are number one. You know, but I think maybe that season to come, I think Henderson will be right there pushing him for that number one.
I feel, and this has always been my thing. You see that Spanish national team. Anytime a Spanish player move out of Spain, he does hardly play for a national team. Or
Yeah,
he gets fired on plenty.
Yeah, but he was number one for Spain for years.
For how much years?
For years.
Yeah, but you know much criticism used to come on that. If he was Madrid goalkeeper, I don't think he'd get so much fired on. Look at things Sergio Ramos will do. What kind of red card? And you hardly hear them criticizing Ramos.
Yeah, the captain.
But I hear you. So let me see how it goes. But I think Dean Henderson go get Europa League. I really hope Oli give him Europa League.
Yeah, and don't do like Romero, and if you reach semi-final, yeah,
switch
for the year. You know what I mean? If him and you reach semi-final, play him to the final. If that is to be.
I am saying Fred played with an injury for most of the game. Yeah, Fred got a knock. And but I mean, Fred is a fighter. You know, Fred is a real fighter. I really like one scene from Fred. I mean, we're talking about levels, but right now, Fred doing anything. You know, Simeon saying Pogba once out and getting swept. Van once in and on the bench. I didn't see the Instagram post. I think it was in Instagram and Twitter that Pogba released today. He say you know, he's a Man United man, true and true. You know, he say, if you don't know nothing, stop talking. He giving you all. But we do believe, Nico, as we were saying, that he probably had a one-on-one with Oli. You know, and he say you want to leave, but as long as he's here, he will give you all. We paying him.
Yeah, look at that.
We paying him, play him.
Yeah.
I am saying McTominay is a hard worker. He reminds me of Fletcher. See, all on this hard work thing.
So players need that, boy.
Yeah, I ain't saying you don't need it. But all right, let me check it, Nico. Van de Beek is not hard worker. Van de Beek ain't gonna get you all.
No, he can't get what McTominay can get. Technically better, but hard work. Why he can't get what McTominay will get? And he had the steal either, and even the height.
Fair enough. James saying, well, I think by now Man United is just advertising Pogba for shop window. Makes no sense not playing him because his value will drop and we will get next and nothing for a world-class player. Yeah.
I think Pogba advertising himself right now. Why?
Yeah. Hey, Richard, welcome, man. Thanks for
Richard, good
night. Kenton saying, beside the fact Henderson hands big, like he carrying gas tank since he is 10.
I didn't identify that though. I didn't realize he had big. I don't know. I didn't touch that one.
James saying, all heart, no talent. McTominay needs to be on the bench.
Oh Lord.
Kenton saying the hair hands like he played game on a computer his whole life.
So what I mean, the hands, man?
Oh yeah, don't be on the hair now, man. Steven saying on a better team, McTominay will be okay, but not this team. This team has too many flaws to throw him in there and not drop a level. It's true. It's true. You know, it has some teams, and this is where I think, Nico, I don't know if you're going to agree with me. This is why, Jordan Henderson has looked so much better. I feel if you put Henderson in Man United team, you're going to see he flaws more now. But because of how well oiled and how well coached.
Less dependent they are on him.
Right, and how the team is playing now. You will see lesser Henderson flaws in that Liverpool team. So that's a good point, Simeon. He's saying drop Maguire before you talk about De Gea. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Watchman.
Drop Maguire for who, why?
No, the point he making.
I still saying drop De Gea for Henderson, but drop Maguire for who, by? Jones? Mengi? Ted Donzebe? You know what I mean?
Watchman, Maguire play, he get through. Maguire will get through. Maguire could 2-2 and you know he play next week for sure. He must tell Ollie who you gonna drop me for. Mengi? Watchman. Kenton saying he don't need to give you all that, but because he does position himself better than well, I think he's talking about Van de Beek, Yeah. So Nico, here we're gonna do now. We're gonna I don't know if you have any other player in particular you want to, or any other thing you want to talk about today.
No.
All right. So
we got touch on. Let's say the game was more or less above us. Not much talking points. I think what was it? Was the real talking points? We had maybe the penalty, the missed penalty. That's the offside. That's where I think we have got now another penalty, and maybe we have won the game with that penalty. I think that's
what penalty that was? The one, which one that was?
The penalty on Rashford.
Yeah, but he was offside.
He was offside, but I said if he wasn't offside, you know what I mean? And it wasn't my match. He wasn't offside. I think we could have gotten the penalty, and maybe we could have won the game. So also that I think Steele created one or two chances. I think Sterling maybe get away with. Maybe for Wan-Bissaka to sit down. Maguire came up good. I think Maguire had a strong game. Outside that, I think you talked about Greenwood chance. Outside that, I think the game was a dead rubber.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do? Let me do some ratings now, but not the normal going through to rate every player. So we're gonna look at the defensive line, which includes the goalkeeper. And we go pull out one player where there is a positive comment or a negative comment, and we will just talk about that. So go ahead now.
Right. So we're rating the whole defense, or just as they say, one player or two players on the defense.
Well, however you
right,
see it, but the entire defense, including the goalkeeper.
Yeah. For me, the defense went well today. Defense, I'd have given almost everybody a 10 to tell you, but I said, I think Wan-Bissaka was solid today again. He was in his elements from that one chance from Sterling, when Sterling had him sliding across. I think he recovered well. I think Shaw again had a strong game defensively. Coming back from injury, I think he did well. I think Maguire was my man in the match today. I didn't really rate him that much, but I think he was solid. From the back and in the front too, he had a threat in the air too. I think Lindelof was also a threat in the air. I think twice he got on his head on a few corners. Had one I thought McTominay should have done better with. McTominay was side me in the last quarter. He should have done better with that one. But today, the defense was solid, and I think my standout for the defense today would be Maguire.
All right. For me, it could be Luke Shaw. All right. People who watching this review from start go know I don't fancy Luke Shaw, but because it's like sometimes when you just miss what is he saying? You just miss something when you lose it or something like that. Yeah. And I mean, while I applaud Telles for going forward, for the 2 or 3 games that we had Telles, we was really lacking defensively. We considered a lot on that side. The goal Neymar scored in the PSG game, the goal West Ham scored, all those goals were on Telles' side, and it was because Telles was sleeping, and Shaw came into there and he really solidified the defense. I think Mahrez, who we know is a dribble master, he could feint, he could chop, he just had men on the ground. He couldn't make a note with Shaw, and I couldn't ask for more from Shaw today in terms of what he does bring defensively. One comment I had to make though, Maguire, right? Maguire had to be a little more what's the word I'm looking for? But I find he sometimes when he in possession, like when he tried to chop on the defender, and I think it's Gabriel Jesus, take it from him. But Lindelof was the one who came and recover. Somebody said Maguire was buffering, like our computer buffer. So I mean, Maguire, be careful. You can't be doing that. So I thought, apart from that, as you say, the defensive line was solid today. That was the element. That's how them fellas really thrive. So I go rate Shaw and I go get Shaw 7.5, man. Before you go ahead to the midfield, Nicole, I'll get some comments, right? James saying Lindelof and Tuanzebe played very well against PSG and Leipzig. Why not go back to that combination? When will we realize Maguire is the problem because he is not good enough? You find Tuanzebe was good when he came on against Leipzig? Or I think he mean in the first legs?
I think the game when Tuanzebe played against Istanbul, right? I think that kind of found them wanting a lot. I think that showed the amount of cracks in his game where he could have been exploited. I think Dembaba did him what he wanted. Dembaba, how like he's playing with you play with your little son in the yard with a ball, and you could do it all or one treat. That's how Dembaba treat Tuanzebe in that game. So I think that kind of exposed him a lot. I think his confidence even took a hit because he came off the first half time he came off. So since then, I mean, I kind of lost confidence in him, but I think he's a talent. He's a talent that's still to develop. But until then, Maguire, sure.
But you talk about that game away to Başakşehir, Istanbul. But even in the home game, when Oli took off Lindelof and brought on Tuanzebe in, when we were winning, went back at Tuanzebe again and take advantage of him, And even when he came on against PSG or Istanbul or Leipzig, he still didn't look, too convincing. So I don't know if, as you say, his confidence take a little hit. So I mean, talented youth, but Iron saying Shaw was solid in defense today. Yeah, no doubt. Get on. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for joining. He's saying Torres targeted Shaw though. Yeah, but even Torres couldn't. Torres couldn't really.
Yeah, he put Torres in the pocket.
James saying Shaw is better than Telles, no doubt about that. He has improved his attacking output as well. Already has 3 assists this season compared to Telles. But I think Telles better going forward. Telles confidence with the passes.
But Shaw has improved going forward. I think you saw a few of his crosses now actually in the air, not just all on the ground. And he got a few assists. I think Marshall benefited a couple. So I think Shaw has improved with the competition. He has shown a better improvement going forward. But still, going forward, Telles is the better player going forward. But defensively, Shaw start most of the games.
I think, and I think you want to build on a solid foundation going forward. So I think because of that, Shaw will get the pick now.
And then Maguire shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Kenton saying Maguire playing good, to be honest, but he does turn like Bill from on the hill.
That would for me. Yeah. No, it's true. I agree 100%.
The game against Istanbul, he was partnered with the 80 million Fridge. Yeah, I think that's true. Sometimes when Maguire have an off game, he doesn't make his partner look good at all. Even because we criticize Lindelof too.
Yeah, and especially when he played Bailly against Tottenham.
Yeah.
He does expose whoever he playing with a lot. So I think Lindelof doing a real good job to be looking decent these days. Lindelof looking for himself right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah, because Maguire was cheering at the bus.
Gideon saying bringing in Telles for sure to play better. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And it will only benefit the team, you know. Midfield, Nico.
Today for me, stand-up players, well, Pogba, when Pogba shot up today, I think he looked real confident. I think that's up. No, seriously. I had that play where he took the ball and
the luxury player?
Yeah, no, but remember, right now, you put yourself in the shop window, you know? You understand? We want daisy performances we want to see consistently. Not that because you're playing Man City or, you know what I mean, when you feel to play, but it's just type of football and it was simple. It was simple but effective, showing your quality. And that is what we want. Because I was seeing today where Pogba would have taken the ball and turned and, you know what I mean, in one fluid motion, which I, like, wow, Pogba got back that touch, boy. You know? So I think Pogba was my standout player in the midfield. I know Fred would have played through the pain. But for some reason, I don't know why I feel he was like an injury carrying though, because I find that it looks soft now. That the clash he had, and then, you know, so to me, I was thinking, I wonder that injury carrying. But for me, Pogba was my my midfield standout today, and I'll give myself a strong seven.
Yeah. But we categorizing Bruno with the forwards or with the midfielders?
No, I with the midfielders.
With the midfielders?
Yes, I pick out Pogba. I find Pogba with all the flack and with all the comments in terms of the agent and, you know, all that pressure around him. I think today he stood out, man. You know, I think he that occasion or all the issues around him didn't affect him, his play, and his play actually looked like it improved. You know, so due to that, you know, I think you're a strong game today.
Yeah, Kempton, I agree with you. He said Pogba played good, but I know he could give way more. Get on saying Pogba still looked a little shaky. Some passes wasn't good. And I am saying Pogba played a simple game. That's what we need. But like the idea of leaving United motivated him to play better. Oh, good boy. Ouch.
Nah, you put yourself in shopping though. You should Juventus or Real Madrid or whoever it is, or maybe even PSG. You know what I mean? That he still has something to offer.
Yeah.
The last big payday, you know? Technically, any move from here for Pogba would be last big payday. So I think he paid in 70 shop window for last big payday.
And you don't think it would make sense, because you know, have a lot of people calling for Oli to drop Pogba altogether, but you don't think it'll make sense for, if that's what his motive is. You don't think we should benefit from that? You know, we pay your salary. It will only help the team if Pogba going to give us the kind of performances that will earn him the move that he wants, you know, and the payday that he wants. Then shouldn't the team benefit from it? You know, should we see Pogba scoring goals and winning games for us, and, you know, doing madness on the pitch? You know, so that's why I'm saying, you know, if it is that Oli and Pogba, you know, had discussions and it's established that, you know, he's going to leave January, we're going to leave in the summer, but he would be professional, he would play and he would represent, then play him. You know, I don't see why, you know, you're calling for Oli to drop him and leave him on the team and let him train with the reserves. I don't think that's necessary. You know,
as long as he given that type of performances, he had to play. He had to play.
Yeah, because remember, that was the same thing. That's what happened with Ronaldo. You know, he talked to Fergie. Fergie said, "Give him one more season," and that last season, Ronaldo was one of Ronaldo's best seasons in a United shirt. You know, so if that the case, and Pogba is that kind of professional player, because all he did say in his pre-match press conference that it had other players who wanted to leave and didn't want to play.
Right.
But Pogba has always been professional. Pogba has always said he will put the team first, you know. So, I mean, sometimes you would listen to the agent talk, and we know it's Pogba, you know, the agent think, at least we will think the agent wouldn't do anything unless the client give you the okay, right? But at the same time, Pogba has been a professional, you know, so why, you know? So they might think, play the man once he informed.
Yeah.
I don't think he should play well even if he wants to leave and the fans will respect him more, that's correct, because he would have earned a move. But then again, he hasn't been consistent for us, so some fans may think differently. For me, prove it to Oli go get the opportunities, and then he'll get a chance to prove it to the fans. You know, for me, I agree with you, Nico. Pogba today, coming on the back of what his agent would have said. For me, it was a surprise to see him in the starting lineup. I don't know what Oli was thinking, and you tend to think how the fans thinking. But I was glad that he got the opportunity and he showing his worth. It's helping the team. It will also help the club, because it would mean that the club could now afford to demand a price that we think he's worth. So if he go in here, I'm going to go for the cheap because he's going to represent and market himself as a price. And today he did that. Yes, it's at a point in the game where he started to tire, and you would have expected Oli to make that change, but it didn't cost us. So nobody here criticizing Oli, But Pogba had a good game. He created opportunities. Some passes were on point. Some decisions were on point. It's a true pass that he played to Rashford that I find Rashford should have done better with. Instead of going for the shot, hold it up, bring players into play. Bruno was done right there, delayed a little bit, so you could have even played to Bruno. These kind of things. So sometimes when players are ahead of your door, take chances that people don't recognize and notice some of the things that he is doing now. So kudos to Pogba today, and I hope, for as long as he's here, if it's till January, if it's till June, play, represent. So for me, Pogba. We just get some comments in here. Simeon asking, he said, but you don't think we should see Van de Beek more to know what he has, so we know what replacement we'll need when Pogba leaves? I think we go see Van de Beek in the Europa League.
Yeah, I think in training, the seeing in training. So they know what I have and know what I want to get in if Pogba leaves or when Pogba leaves. So I think they don't know already. And again, then we will go back to the board, the top. If they go back early to get what you want. So the next thing. If you go into the forward line, I think that will be just be Rashford and Greenwood. I think that hard working effort now. I think they gave an effort. I think they were a threat, both of them. I think they were a threat. I think City had to keep an eye on them, had to keep them close. I think I can't remember much chances for any of them. I can remember the chance that where he was played through and he went for the shot. I think Greenwood, when he fan, he famous fan, he didn't get through with that, try to shoot again. But overall, I think that was a solid game. I think the entire team had a solid game. If I read them, I think Gary Greenwood maybe a 7 man, maybe Rashford at a 6.5 or even a 7.2. That's solid. That is a solid game up top, and I think it was fair. It was a fair. I had much to say about the forward line. I don't know what you had to say about the forward line.
Before I say, I just want to get 2 comments, right? Gideon saying, do you think the game had enough creativity, or they started to settle for a draw in the second half?
I think they started the game from the start, Andrew. For the first half, I find for some reason we wasn't in real control. I can't remember us being in so much control, or where you feeling the game is, you're not feeling like City could score. You wasn't feeling at no point that City could have scored. And that feeling alone would have tell me that maybe we started, or as we have said before, Pep started to settle for a draw, or we play tight and if a chance comes, we go take it, but we're taking unnecessary risk. And I think both teams went out with that mentality today.
Yeah. And to add to what Nico saying, to answer Gideon's question, you know how the media and fandom is with football. You lose one game, chaos. Oli gonna get sacked. If Oli lost this game, he will get sacked tomorrow. And those are the kind of reports that are going on. So I don't know if even Ollie at the same time would have approached the game and say, well, hey, yeah, we're going on the Champions League elimination, you know, it didn't really do the team in terms of the morale good, you know, and to go into this game against City and, you know, play gung-ho, so to speak, and lose, it will heap and mount pressure on the players, morale, even the media, and them kind of rubbish reports that we've seen coming out. So I think Ollie as well would have taken a more conservative approach to say, here, what's going on. Let me go into this, let me try to recover, and let me don't lose. You know, just to make sure that we don't mount or heap more pressure on the team and on the morale of the players to come and lose against City at home. Because it's plenty we was working against today. You know, we're talking about the home record, it's not the best this season so far. You know, so I think the two managers, even what we would have discussed about Pep and his approach as well, I think considering what those things would have been in what would have been in Ollie's mind as well now. So I agree with you, Nico. The game going into this, you could have seen draw marking all over it, you know. And City, what I saw today, City allowed us a lot of possession when they weren't pressing because I find their press was a little lazy now. But every time you see the ball transition into the final third, into our attacking third, I didn't see much happening now, you know. I am saying Rashford does have some brainless moments, and Greenwood, like, he want to just score. Greenness does take him over. And Nico and myself, you were talking about that too.
Yeah, both of them for some reason. And I think that is the major thing with our forward line. The decision making at crucial times, and we have seen it twice against Leipzig with Rashford and Greenwood. But Greenwood had the first chance to slip in, Rashford he didn't do it. Then Rashford had the chance to slip in, Greenwood he didn't do it. That kind of selfish type of football where decisions cost their games now. You know, so I think that is something both of them definitely have to come because when Cavani played and when we played against Southampton, when he would have played in Bruno, you know, that was unselfish. Now that is the type of decision making you want to see when in the final third. And I think that is something definitely that Rashford and Greenwood has to develop.
Yeah, I think it's a team game. Team comes first, you know, because that chance you was talking about what Greenwood gets. You know, Bruno play over nice stop, you beat the defender already. So just to slip Rashford. You know, and you try a shot that
Ederson 5 minutes from time.
Yeah, and Ederson didn't even have a blink to catch that ball. He could have closed the eye and put and that ball would have rolled into his hands. So that shot didn't make sense. We know you're deadly. We know you have it. But come on, team first, you know. And those are the kind of decisions that, you know, could make or break, or win or lose, you know. Those are the difference between 3 points and no points or 1 point. So yeah, I am saying Rashford sharing all that food, but don't want to share the ball. Which man? Serious say no Chelsea men here today. Yeah, they go come. They will not come. They will not come. Of course they go come. Let them win and we draw off now. Yeah, I see them.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, my thoughts on the front two today. As I said before, we didn't really. The idea of the threat that we posed was more telling or significant than the actual threat that them fellas posed today. I don't know if I make sense with what I said. You know, the idea of what Rashford and Greenwood could do, you know, would have played more on the minds of the defenders, but nothing didn't really follow through now. You know, I thought when I think Ian mentioned it, when Rashford had the ball, the decisions he would have made, you know, were the ones that they'll say, oh gosh, man, this is the difference between a world-class Rashford and the Rashford, you know, that we have. And similarly with Greenwood as well. I thought Greenwood all-around game today was pretty decent, you know. When he didn't have the ball, Greenwood was working. You know, he was working, he was trying to track back, he was getting the ball, he was trying to contribute to the whole build-up play, you know. So that is why even out of the front two, I would have, even though I find that one chance Greenwood get where he could have done better in terms of slipping in Rashford, I found Greenwood was still the better of the front two today. And I was a little disappointed when he was the one that get the hook. You know? And I'm not saying this in no negative way toward Rashford, but considering Rashford carrying an injury too now. Sometimes I find Oli could overdo it with how he'd be playing Rashford. Even last season, the man played until he almost break his back. You know, and we don't know how much injuries Rashford is be playing on now. And I don't know if it's affecting his commitment in the game, you know. So because sometimes they see Rashford is trying and he just give up. And then he go turn around and he just walk back. And I don't want to be overly critical of Rashford because I know he's a man, he's giving it all for the club. You know? So I think Oli might have to take stock a little bit and say, well, hey, probably I should have pulled off Rashford here and leave Greenwood on because all wrong Greenwood was giving me a little bit more. You know? But
I think Martial coming on looked good for the time he was on. I think his older play was, I think he helped the team a lot when he came on. And I think he had a solid cameo.
Yeah. I think and as I always say, I don't think Martial game play has been bad. It's just his goal scoring form is off as far as, at least that is my opinion, you know. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, so I think that really brings us, Nico, to the end of the review, you know. How you go rate Oli though, you know, for how he went and approached the game today.
Yeah, I think well, as I say, most of the times he has get the lineup good, or he get it right, especially in the league. I think in the Premier League, I think he have a better handle at the Premier League. I think most of the times when he set up teams in the Premier League the right way. Even when he plays Southampton and he rests West Ham and he rests Bruno, you could understand why. You know, because we had Leipzig coming up, you know, so you could understand some of the rotations within the team now. So yeah, I think he did well again. I think bringing in Pogba again was a brave decision. And Pogba would have repaid that fate. Who else? Maybe even playing Fred and McTominay as our pivot, you know, with Pogba. I think that again was a good decision. You know, so I think overall he got it right.
Yeah. So I was a 6 or 7?
Nah, 7. 5, 7, yeah, 7. I think the team responded. I think the team responded after the debacle of the Champions League group. I think the team would have went through a lot this week mentally. You know, I think there would have been a lot of pressure on them coming into this game. So I think they responded well today. So I guess all you had to take a pat on the back for that also. You know, he had some role in the team bouncing back with the type of performance today against a top team. You know, City's aging. I think they still have a team to be wary and to be feared. So I think the performance today was a good.
Yeah, I fully agree with everything you said, Nico. I don't think I'd add on Oli rating at all with that. Final thoughts, Nico. The Europa League draw is on Monday.
What is it? I didn't hear it. Champions League?
The Champions League going Monday too, you know, but we know now we are talking about the one that we in, you know, unfortunately. You know, the best of the rest league now, the best of the rest in the world. You know,
I just feel like, you know, like penance, you know? You're not good enough for the Champions League. Take that. You know what I mean? That's how you get fined. You know, like you're speeding on the highway and the police stop you and they get $1,000 ticket. It's the Europa League, you know? $1,000.
I mean, it has some positives to it. The fact that certain players going to get minutes, we're going to be seeing regular football for Dean Henderson. We're going to be seeing regular football for Van de Beek. You know, at least I hope so. You know? So this is the opportunity that's these guys could take, you know. And let me hope Oli don't go too full and too strong in this arm.
Yeah. Let me get as you say, Rashford to tonight. European Champions League. Hey, that's good.
I guess that's not gonna make me feel better. European Champions League. Oh God. Watch me. And Simeon said right here, Jose say we are the favorites. Jose, any mind games? We know. Hear me that. Anyway, so that draw is on Monday. Earlier we go see who we gonna play. And wherever. Sunday football again.
Inter Milan ain't make the top 3. Alright.
Lukaku, Sanchez, Ericsson, Young, this boy, that boy, Lautaro, and the fellas is last in it. And watch me, over here we make it worse. You finish last in that group with a real failure Madrid team. Because this is not a good Madrid team, eh? Them fellas just know how to get it out, eh?
Yeah, them got like twice from Shakhtar. Twice Shakhtar beat them. I'm taking that for sure.
I am hand the coin to back up your word. Back up the word by Nico, boy. Anyway, Nico, closing thoughts. Let me get some closing thoughts before. I think the next game we playing in the Premier because European football close off until next year.
Right. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I think so. I think that's it. I think that's it until next year. So so we're playing Sheffield United on Thursday.
It's 17th, yes. Playing Sheffield.
All right. So closing thoughts, Nico.
Well, a professional performance today. I think the guys responded after the midweek crisis. I think a lot of players, the manager, would have been under a lot of pressure going into this game. I think the team responded. I think even for the fans, we wanted at least not to lose now, because even as fans, we feel the pressure too, eh? You know, because that's thinking, oh gosh, well, if we had to go to the next manager again, that's like you're starting a whole new relationship with that, with it wasn't a breakup and you start back a whole new relationship from scratch, and the fans feel that too now. So we're ready for that. You know what I mean? So let me tell us what we have. Let me get it right. I guess today was a step in the right direction, and with the performance today, I think a lot of players put up their hands and say, well, hey, I'm willing to fight for the badge, which was good to see. That's for the first to continue to bring consistent performances. Let's get the consistency. If we had to lose with that 1-0, but we played consistently. We played good, but we could say, well, that's unlucky. That thing, a fluke goal, or but you can say we deserve to win the game. Then we just still feel good, even if we lose now. So if we can just get a consistency in our game, then I feel we're on the right path.
Yeah. Simeon said with all the nonsense, we still near the top of the league. Yeah, I think sometimes the noise they just be there because it's what they need to do now. They just need to create stories, So one loss, panic. This player don't like the manager. This player fine. This player shouldn't play. And all the kind of reports that is be circulating is just to try to destabilize the team now. I don't believe half of them things that will be happening, because you see the kind of performance that you got today. Sheffield is a different kind of animal. For some reason, when teams play Man United, is really step up.
Yeah, but the last on the table, eh?
Yeah,
but 1 point.
Right, but here what I'm telling you, these teams they start to show up when it's time to play Man United.
Yeah.
So I hope
we know that, but alongside against Sheffield, they go down nice, eh?
Well, that was coming to say. So I hope them fellas are watching the table and saying, well, Sheffield last 1 point after 11 games. That food. We don't need to show up. Because that is happening now, boy.
Yeah, that is happening, and that is the thing. That is where we want only to motivate guys to come out and dispense of Sheffield. Right?
But one thing we had a note, Nico, is Sheffield, even though they only have 1 point, when you look at the performances, right, the games that they played that they would have lost, they are a solid team, And they just sometimes they just come and concede in the dregs, So it will really take persistence to break them down. because we know what Sheffield offers. We know what Sheffield, what they like, you know, and I think we play that game away, right? I mean, I know the home away thing don't really have no impact, but the point is, we just think that they last, that are walking the park. And all the teams that have played them before would have been an even game, and they just come and concede late down. That's how it was. Check it back if I think a lion, you know. So I say that to say that Sheffield not going to be a walkover. It'll be a game that we need to go out there and represent and play and beat. You know? So I really hope that the guys go out there and, you know, let me keep climbing the table. This league wide open still. Teams dropping points, you know. So yeah. Last word for Iron. Solid in keeping.
You're in the league, nah? They're going right. I should feel.
Yeah, well, let me contribute to that emotion, and let me don't make it, you know, let me don't make it, you know, let me don't get them hope.
And let me don't hope Oli get bright and see all right. I'm gonna play Tonze by Henderson, you know, Tellez and the rest. Right? Because Sheffield are the last on the table. You see if that happen, is that when I'm gonna say, well, boy, you're going on it. You understand? Go from bad to worse. Because I can see him doing that, knowing the volume of games and how games come in thick and fast. Teams like that we had to get with 3 points, and get with 3 points and then make your changes. Right? Don't go out playing like he's not have a big squad or white squad for talent, and no. We go win the game if you can win by 3 goals half time and then make changes. You know what I mean? Then we do that. You know what I mean? So again, I call it for the Istanbul game, and I call it again, Oli. Just play this part of a team that will give you a result, right? And then make it changes after.
True. So guys, thanks again for joining the review. You know, the comments and the likes and the shares are always appreciated. Be reminded that these videos will be or are on YouTube. This one will be uploaded on YouTube very, very soon. So go across, subscribe, and like, you know, share the content earlier. All right, we appreciate it. So until Thursday, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.